The trial of 6 senior police officials and Egypt's former interior minister has resumed in Cairo. Well, they're accused of involvement in the killings of protesters during February's revolution. On Wednesday, the former president, Hosni Mubarak, appeared in court lying in a hospital bed. He denied charges of murder and corruption. His trial will resume on August the 15th. We can go live now to Cairo and speak to Sherine Tadros. Sherine, what is the latest there?
Well, this court session started about half an hour ago now. The judge presiding in the case said that this is not procedural. This is essentially the 6th session of this trial, and the most important thing to note is that this is the session where evidence is being presented by the defense team. And we've been seeing over the course of the last half hour many boxes being opened and these notebooks and documents coming out. It promises to be a long day, but certainly a very interesting day where lots of little bits of information and details will be revealed. Let's just listen in for a second into that trial.
The number of pieces of evidence in this exhibit. This exhibit contains sealed envelopes. I'm counting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Well, some of those books that have been submitted into evidence contain various bits of information. We understand that some of them show which security units did in fact have live ammunition. This is all in an effort to try and determine whether or not the precise order, I should say, was given to the police officers to kill protesters. That is what premeditated killings means, and that is what Habib al-Adly and the 6 senior officers are on trial for. Now, a little bit before the opening of these documents took place at the beginning of the trial, we heard from the various defense lawyers, and they were questioning the judge. Very big concerns that they had. One of them was, if this is a joint trial with the Mubaraks, Hosni Mubarak and his 2 sons, why is it that we have different sessions? And the judge replied saying, we're still looking into that and we're still going to decide whether at some point they will be together into one session. But for now, they are going to keep them separate, Habib al-Adly and his aides, and indeed Mubarak and his 2 sons.
Sherine, it's been a really historic day yesterday. Perhaps the day that many Egyptians were waiting for, to see Hosni Mubarak wheeled in to that cage in the court. How are people taking it all in? Is there a sense of triumph, or are they thirsty for more?
Probably a little bit of both, but I think the first reaction is triumph. I think for the pro-democracy protesters, especially given the fact that this has been their demand, well, from the beginning really, but especially in the last few weeks where they've really tried to pressure the authorities here in the military to deliver Hosni Mubarak himself. They are going to see this very much as a victory of the kind of people pressure, public opinion pressure that they can exert on the authorities, and certainly pacify those who really believe that, or had started to believe that, the military authority here that rules the country aren't serious about trying their former commander-in-chief and trying his inner circle. So certainly on that level, there's a lot of people who are pleased with the proceedings, but there is still a lot of skepticism how long this trial is going to take, how complex it's going to be, which parts of the trial are actually going to still be televised, as we're seeing today. When is there going to come a point when the authorities say, no, this bit of the trial has to be kept under wraps? There is still a lot of skepticism here about the process, the justice system, and that's really born out of years, decades of mistrust of the system by the Egyptian people.
All right, Sherine Tadros updating us there from Cairo. Let's dip back in to those court proceedings. Of course, that proceeding is likely to go on for a while. Let's speak to Khaled Fahmy. He's the chairman of the history department at the American University of Cairo. Taking it all in, Khaled, what's the verdict? People happy with the way these public trials are going?
I think yes. I think in general, yesterday, just seeing the former president in the dock was a momentous event. And I think what equally significant is the fact that this is not a revolutionary tribunal. This is not an exceptional case, an exceptional court using exceptional laws. So despite the fact that we have a revolution, it's the normal Egyptian criminal legal system that is handling this enormous case with enormous pressure on the legal system that I think so far, I've been watching yesterday's case very closely and today's case also very closely. It seems they're sticking to the procedures. It seems that the Egyptian legal system is intact and it is delivering, procedurally, it is delivering justice. It's transparent, it's fair, and it's public, and people are watching very closely. So despite, in addition to the fact of the enormity of the case, the procedures are also very important, and the devil is in the details.
With up to 30% of the country, though, still living below the poverty line, 20% control 40% of the country's wealth, how long will public attention stay focused on trials and not on the biting economic realities of life?
No, I think this revolution was very much a revolution for justice and for dignity. This was not a revolution by the poor and hungry. I'm not saying that the poor and hungry are not part of it. I'm not saying that there is no poverty and hunger in the country. But there is a realization, which is represented by the massive turnout in the revolution, that something is fundamentally wrong in the political system. And that needs to be fixed first before the economic ailments are dealt with. So people are watching very closely. People want justice. People demand justice. And I think the tension that the legal system is under is between delivering justice swiftly and maintaining the integrity of the legal system itself. And that's not an easy balance to maintain.
All right, Khaled Fahmy, it's been good talking to you.